guys, Jenilee here from Big Balls Fantasy Football. Welcome to week 4, and yes, a Chicago Bears win. Oh my goodness. And I got my socks on. These are new. So anyways, I think it's the socks is why the Bears won. But we are here with Mark, who is a good friend of mine, and he's, well, let's talk about it. He's a Raider fan.
Yes, I am.
And so I'm just going to ask him a couple questions because our Bears finally got their first win of the season against your team. What did you think of the game overall?
I think the Bears played pretty good because the reason they won, they had no choice. They had to win this game. That's what happened, you know. The Bears won.
I'm definitely not mad at that response because he's right. The Bears needed to finally get a win on this season. It has been torturous. So just talking about your team more specifically, Derek Carr, your running back, Amari Cooper, all the good stuff on offense, and your defense is playing pretty well this season. I know they won you the game last week. What was something good that you liked about your team today despite the loss?
I like the fact that my football team, after 14, 15 years of losing football, is very competitive.
So this week our profile is the career of Lions wide receiver Calvin Johnson, also known as Megatron. Now his first season in the NFL was 2007. In his first season, he averaged 15.8 yards on 48 catches with 756 yards and 5 touchdowns total. That's also the season that teammate Roy Williams nicknamed him Megatron. Unfortunately, in fantasy, you get high on a player one year, and then they slump, and that's what happened to him in 2009. This is when the Lions had a complete personnel change with a new GM and new head coach, Jim Schwartz. They also drafted Matthew Stafford first overall in the draft. In week 2, as a rookie starter, he threw his first career touchdown to Johnson on a 6-yard touchdown against the Vikings. Now that day, fantasy owners are celebrating, thinking Stafford's always going to go to Megatron. This is a preview for great things to come. But unfortunately, their bromance was cut short that season because Stafford went on IR on Christmas Eve and he had an injury-plagued year.
Hey you guys, Jenilee Borek here from Big Balls Fantasy Football. Here we are. Yes, these are our seats at the Bears-Chargers game. It's going to be awesome. We're definitely going to get a Bears win on this Monday Night Football game. And speaking of Monday Night Football, I think the Seahawks are going to pull it out again. They play so well at home. I just think the Broncos are going to have a hard time. But I do think it's going to be a close game. I don't see it being a blowout like the Super Bowl was. So Broncos, I think you're going to do a little bit better. But ultimately, I think Seattle is going to win this one. And I think Beast Mode is going to go off like he typically does. I definitely see at least one touchdown out of Beast Mode happening. I think Peyton Manning's going to have a slower day than he's had so far this season. This might be his slowest day, but he's still going to get you an average amount of fantasy points. Yeah, and that's going to be interesting fantasy-wise to see what Welker does and what Emmanuel Sanders does, because Sanders has taken over that role and he's been really great for fantasy. But now that Welker's back, I don't think he's going to get you as many points either. So it'll be interesting to see how they move the ball there in Seattle.
Welcome to my Real Man segment, and I have a few players for you guys this week. Now, it's only week 1 of the NFL, so we've seen these guys in preseason, but we are not quite sure how they're going to turn out, but these are guys you need to get in your lineup. So now I'm going to move on to my second Real Man for you guys, and it's wide receiver Julio Jones. If you drafted him, you have to get him in your lineup. He's a one-balls pick because he's pretty obvious. He's coming off a fantastic year of 79 receptions for 1,198 yards and 10 touchdowns. Now, the Falcons are playing a very explosive Saints offense, so they are going to have to score a lot. We know that Roddy White is coming off of an ankle sprain. Now, it wasn't a serious sprain, but, you know, he might not play all the reps, and Julio's going to get a lot of them. And the Saints' defense is still pretty suspect, and I don't trust them yet. They're going to have to be accounting for Steven Jackson as well because he's been great in preseason, so they are going to be busy trying to stop that running game. Julio should see some one-on-one.
We got the letters out here. Jenilee's all excited, aren't you?
I am very excited. We finally made it down here. Yes, this is where we're going to be watching the first round of the draft. We're going to see who the Bears take and who every other team takes as their first round pick. It's going to be great. Life doesn't get any better. We're here in Chi-Town. We're here. We're going to bear down. We're going to party with Bears fans, and it's just going to be awesome. And we are here in Chicago for the draft. We are here at Rudy's Bar and Grill with Chris. He's one of the managers here. How you doing today?
Good, how are you?
Are you excited for the draft?
I am. It's going to be a great weekend. Absolutely.
It's going to be a lot of fun. So you play fantasy.
I do.
So how many leagues are you in?
I am in 3.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice. I'm in 3 as well.
Yes.
And how did you do last year in your league?
I made the playoffs in 2 of them, and the third one I did not do very well. No championships for me, but, I made the playoffs in 2 out of 3, so it's so-so here.
That's good. That's hard to do. That's hard to do.
Jenilee here from Big Balls Fantasy Football, and we're here at halftime at Tin Horn Flats. And you might be wondering why I'm holding something green, but we have a very special guest with us. His name is Matt, and he's from the Brandon Marshall Foundation. And Matt, can you tell us a little bit about what you do for the foundation?
Absolutely. I am the chairman of a social committee, and we focus on setting up events like this. Obviously, mostly in Chicago, but it happened to be in California this weekend, and so we found the biggest Bears bar in California, and this is where that's why we're here. So.
And what type of stuff are you doing today? I have a T-shirt that
Absolutely.
I bought. So
Absolutely. So our big events this fall are game launch events, and we do promotions with the bars. It's $15 to get 15% off your bill. We're selling T-shirts for $20 from 500level.com. And the biggest move besides raising money is also bringing awareness to the mental health community. That's the foundation's focus on, is mental health awareness.
Okay, Bruce Arians, McCoy, go.
Okay, I'm going to go with Bruce Arians. I like the coaching change that Arizona made. We saw what he did with the Colts being thrown into basically a head coaching job in the middle of the season. But from a fantasy perspective, I don't know. I'm just not totally convinced. That division is a tough one. I like Arizona's defense. I think they're going to be good. They were really good last year. And I like Larry Fitzgerald, which a lot of people are going to forget about because he's been non-existent. But he didn't have a quarterback last year. So he's going to exist this year. Welcome back to Big Balls Fantasy Football. Now you need to be having some fun in your fantasy football season and not just stressing the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, it's not all about stats and winning. Who am I kidding? It is about winning. It's totally about winning.
That's awesome. So let's get into our FYI segment. So just for those of you that don't know out there, our FYI segment is just a fun segment for us to joke about the teams, the players, the coaches, what's going on in the league, and to just make you laugh a little bit. Hi, this is Jenilee here from Big Balls Fantasy Football, and we are wrapping up the morning games here at the Hollywood Way Bar. We're meeting some new fans today, which is great. We are getting ready for the Bears game and the Chargers game. Ashley Smash is going to be on soon here in a minute. So there's a lot of fantasy stuff already going on in these games. The Bears play Atlanta. We expect this one to be a shootout. Neither defense is performing very great. Lance Briggs is out for sure for the Bears, so they're going to have some trouble at linebacker. Shea McClellan is still out, I believe, so it's going to be a tough day for the Bears defense. I do expect Brandon Marshall to get a lot more looks, so I'm looking for him to go for at least 80 yards. He maybe have a 100-yard game with a touchdown. They're going to need to get him going. They're also going to need Alshon to get going and Martellus Bennett, as well as the running game with Forte. So if the Bears are going to have any chance at winning this one, I say that Jay Cutler is going to have to pass for at least 3 touchdowns, possibly 4. I think this could be a 38-34 game, 38-31, somewhere around there. Also look for the Falcons' Matt Ryan to be doing very good. He performs very well at home, so he's going to be balling out. You can also expect Julio Jones and the rest of their passing attack to be very good. So we're going to come back at halftime, give you guys an update. Hopefully the Bears can pull this one out. We need it, and hopefully there's a lot of fantasy points for everyone in this one. This is Sean, and he was telling me that he cannot wear his Bears gear because we lose.
I can, because the last 3 weeks I've worn my Bears jersey, my T-shirt, and my long sleeve shirt. We've lost every week, so now I wore my White Sox shirt because I'm afraid of the jinx. So.
And he had the hat, but he had it turned backwards.
I did because, well, it wasn't so much because I was nervous, but it was because it was sweaty, so I turned it around so that people didn't see I was sweating. But yeah, I am a jinx fanatic. I don't want to jinx the Bears.
But we had an awesome Bears win today.
Awesome win.
So you play fantasy as well. Do you have
Yeah.
any Bears players on your
I
fantasy
have them
team?
all. I have them all. Honestly all. Like one of my teams has Jeffrey, Bennett, Gould, and the Bears D. That's 4 players.
Oh my goodness. So you're going to be in bye week trouble.
I'm in huge bye week trouble.
Well, and we're here at Tin Horn, the Bears bar in Burbank, and the Bears are down 17-3 at halftime against the Kansas City Chiefs. So unfortunately, it is not a very happy bar this week. And we are here with our good friend Shell. He also plays in our show league, fantasy-wise. But first, what do you think the Bears haven't done well in this first half?
Well, I would like to say, what have they done well? Really, going to a hostile Arrowhead, what can you do? But we thought that at least they would compete in this game, and it hasn't really even been close.
And one thing that I'm noticing is we only have 1 sack in the first half against a team that has the Kansas City Chiefs. Actually, Alex Smith has been sacked 19 times in the first 4 games. So we're not getting that pressure on. The defense haven't given up any big plays. There hasn't been a breakdown in coverage. But they're just the Chiefs are just marching down the field little by little, and then eventually either getting in field goal range or scoring. Let's move it on to fantasy. What's going on in your fantasy world?
Oh my God, there's so many players this week. I'm in love with. I picked up Tavon Austin on the waiver wire. I've been loving that. He got a touchdown earlier today.
And we actually had a question on our Facebook about who to start, and I suggested Tavon Austin. So if you're watching out there and you started him, you already got a touchdown.